Well, good evening, Moose Tube fans. Lone Moose here. It's the middle of October. Well, the 16th, close enough for government work, and two I retired from and still kind of work for as a contractor, so close enough. Going to be doing some videos for you all here on making bacon. Okay? What's the perfect food? Bacon, right? And what is one of my things I like to do? Experiment and do it yourself. So, bought me almost a 10-pound slab of pork belly from COSTCO, and the video you're about to watch is the first installment. I'm doing 3 different types of cures, both the type of the cure and the flavoring involved in it, to see how this comes out. So this will be part 1 in the series, and then in about a week I'll be doing part 2, and that will be where I'm actually smoking the pork belly to make it in, well, it'll be bacon by that time, it'll be cured. Smoke it with pecan wood, which has become my kind of favorite go-to wood, and then fry up some of it and see. You'll see the recipes in the video as well as in the description, so I hope you guys like that and enjoy this. Please hit the like and subscribe. I'm up to 53 subscribers. I'd like to be at 75 by the end of October. So come on guys, get in gear. Hopefully you like these kind of videos. It seems like the cooking and smoking videos go over pretty well. So there'll be quite a few of these coming down the line, as I'm probably going to end up doing 9 or 10 different varieties of bacon cures and flavorings to see how it all turns out. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Stay with me, stay safe, and leave your comments below so I know what you think about this. Or if you have any suggestions for other types of cures, flavorings you would like to see, if it's something that sounds appealing to me, I might give it a try. So enjoy the video, and I will see you after a while. Hey there folks, Lone Moose here. These are the ingredients that I'm going to be using to make the cures for this pork belly that I'm going to be making into bacon. I'm going to cut it into 3 chunks. I'm going to be using the High Mountain Buckboard cure, kosher salt, some organic honey, some fireweed syrup that I got up in Alaska, some paprika, some curing salt, and some brown sugar. And I've got my recipes that I'll be using for these 3 that I will put in the video here right next to this intro clip. And I will also put it in the description below. What I'm working with is this big old chunk of pork belly right here that I got at Costco. It's from Swift, and this piece right here is 9 1/4 pounds. It was $2.99 a pound. So I'm going to cut it into 3 chunks. So each be kind of in the range of 3 pounds. One may be a little smaller. And hopefully this turns out pretty well. This part 1 of this journey will be the prepping and the cure and getting it into the refrigerator. And then part 2 will be when I actually smoke it, which will be, and I've seen on the videos, anywhere from 5 to 7 to 10 days that you cure it. Once that's done, then I'm going to smoke it. And I'm going to smoke it with pecan wood. Pecan's becoming rapidly my favorite wood for anything but brisket, which has got to be done with mesquite. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Please leave your comments below. Please hit the like and subscribe button. I do this, all of my different kinds of videos for you guys, sharing what I know about something or some of my experimentation like this. Last time I made bacon was 10 years ago when I lived in Maryland. My folks really loved it a lot in West Virginia. So now, as retirement and moving to Alaska is getting closer, then I'm going to be doing more and more of these videos as I'm practicing, if you will, for living up in the bush. Not really the bush. I mean, we're right off a main road, but it's still beside the point. So, let me get everything set up and we'll get started. Alrighty, bacon fans. What I did was I went ahead and I cut this up into 3 sections. The first one is about 3 pounds, the second one about 3 pounds, and the back piece is about 4. So I'm going to process each one of these separately, starting with this little guy right here first. It was 3 pounds. And I'm going to be using the High Mountain Buckboard jerky mix for this one. And this one's the easiest of the 3 by far. Basically, you use 1 tablespoon and 1 1/4 teaspoons per pound of pork belly. They actually use pork shoulder or Boston butts to make theirs, but I'm using it for this. You can. And so, a little bit of basic math that boils down to, tripling the recipe. Per pound for 3 pounds gives me 10 teaspoons plus 3/4 teaspoon of the rub mix, which I have right here. And I'll get these other 2 out of the way for right now. And I will start on this one with some of the rub. And you want to use the rub really liberally all around. And I'm going to be curing this one in a plastic bag. And once you get the rub on here, I'm just doing a basic right now, then I'll put the rest of it in the bag with it. Make sure that all sides get covered in the cure. And what the cure does is it basically draws out the moisture. And that moisture that it's drawing out, that is where bacteria can grow. So the whole purpose of the cure is to preserve your bacon so that it lasts. It doesn't grow botulism, doesn't make you or your family members or friends sick, and gives you a great tasting piece of meat. Now, the one thing you have to do with this is basically every day, and I do mean every day with this kind of a cure, is flip it over in your refrigerator. Now, like I said, the directions on this one said for 7 days, so I'm looking at about a week on these. So this one is number 1. Now I'll get the rest of that little cure in there. Alright, let me put this on pause and get into my second piece. Okay, folks, now for number 2 piece of pork belly, also 3 pounds. Now, the recipe that I basically stole from this, the guy was making a 5-pound slab, so cure will be a little bit overkill, but at the end, when it's all done, you rinse it off anyway. Now, I'm doing something really unique here with this one. I am using some fireweed syrup. Bought this up in Alaska when Jim and I were up there in 2019. This was for sale at a bakery in Soldotna called The Moose is Loose, which unfortunately now is out of business, but you can still get the fireweed syrup from other places. And if I can very carefully move this up here, I want you to see how nice of a red color that is, because it's from the fireweed. This particular mix is 1/3 cup kosher salt, 1/3 cup of brown sugar, and 1/3 cup. He used maple syrup. I personally do not like the maple flavoring in my bacon. I don't like the taste of using maple wood. In other words, people, I'm not Southern. I'm Midwestern, Southwestern, but now becoming Alaskan. So that's why I'm going to give this a whirl with the fireweed syrup. It's got a really unique taste to it. And when I get into the second and third phase of this video series, I'm going to also do some of these in prickly pear syrup, which is made from prickly pear cactus, the fruit. And it's kind of a strange deal. It's something I make myself. Never found where you can buy it. And when I get ready to do that, I'll actually go into much more detail on this. Okay, mixed up. This one is going to go into a glass pan. It's a little bit bigger slab, and I only have 2 of the glass baking dishes to work with. And this is kind of the same thing. I'll put about part of it on here to start with. Brush it out. Get it all over every bit of it. And it's going to be the same deal. Flip-flop it every day so that the cure works its magic, draws the moisture out. And if you notice, so far, the first 2 that I'm doing, well, actually, that's not correct. This one does not have any pink salt, curing salt in it. I think there is some in the Buckboard mix, and there will be in my 3rd recipe mix. We'll put this over on the back side. I'm really excited to see how this one comes out. I have high expectations for it. Put the big brown sugar there. Gotta coat the sides, the ends. Out of there. Aesthetics count too, people. Alright. So now, give me a big old piece of the press and seal here, if I can find the end of the roll. There it is. This stuff is really good. Seals it up nice and tight. Because you want an airtight seal. But you also don't want your covering down on your bacon, because then all the cure will stick to this and not to the bacon, and that defeats your purpose. And every day, like I said, flip it over, rebaste it around, and now let me get ready to do number 3. Alright, Moose Tube fans, this is the 3rd and final one. This is the 4-pound piece, and it's actually a little thicker than the other 2. And I'm going to start out with this and see if this amount of cure works. I may have to double it. I'm just not sure because I've never done this before. But this particular recipe called for 1/3 cup of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of black pepper, 3 tablespoons kosher salt, 1 teaspoon pink salt, 2 tablespoons paprika, 1/4 cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of honey, and I'm using an organic raw honey from COSTCO. I already got all my dry ingredients here, so let's see how this honey pours out. One. And if it's too thick, I may turn around and add a little bit more water to it as well. 2. And I'm going to give it another little squirt just to offset what sticks to the measuring spoon here. Put this across to the sink without making a mess. Add in the water. And now let's see how this all mixes up. The particular video that I watched on this one was working with a 5-pound chunk. So this should be more than enough. And, you know, like I said, the thing with this cure at the end is you end up rinsing it off anyway. And then at that point, if you have any other seasoning, like if I wanted to make this a black pepper one, right before I smoked it, I would put a little bit of black pepper on the bacon itself and then hang it in the smoker. Well, this seems like it mixed up really well. Let me get my glass bowl. Get this in the bowl. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it didn't mix up quite as well as I thought it would. But that's okay, we can always keep mixing. Like I said, you want this all around and up and down and over and under and through. And yeah, I'm hoping this really turns out cool. I'm not sure about the paprika on it. I don't know that I've ever had bacon with paprika, but there's a lot of things in life I haven't had. And if it's bacon, I mean, come on, really, how badly can you go wrong? No matter what you do. And this will get the same treatment where it's going to get, not dropped in there like that, but basically it's going to get flipped every day for 7 days. Yeah, this is going to be plenty on the cure. I didn't need to make a double batch. I just wasn't sure because this was so thick. Like most things I do, you know, hey, this is a learning experience, an experiment. Anything's liable to happen. So this one will be pretty easy to tell apart from number 2 because of all the red from the paprika in here. Looking good. Let me get this covered up, put in the fridge, and get everything cleaned up. And I'm going to call this at night. And I will start putting this part of the video together and go ahead and publish it. And then when we get to the end of the week and I'm ready to smoke it, that'll be part 2 of this. So I hope everyone's enjoying this because I certainly am. Hey, you know, I'm a tinkerer. Love anything that I can do to experiment and play and have some fun, because that's what it all is. You know, cooking, smoking, everything. To me, it's fun. That's why I do it. Not because I have to. It's not a job. Had a friend of mine tell me tonight, oh, you need your own cooking show on TV. No, I don't. That's too damn much like work. That takes the fun out of it. The fun to me is doing this, sharing it with y'all, sharing it with family and friends when it's done to see if it turns out. And not everything I do is going to turn out. You know, I've had things when I was brewing, right when the fermentation is done and you take that first sip and you're like, oh my God, it's the nastiest stuff I ever had in my mouth. Goes right down the drain. Well, that happens once in a great while with the smoking too. This, you know, the bacon is a new endeavor for me. So hope you guys come along for part 2 of this journey and see what we come up with. Everyone stay safe out there in the crazy COVID world. Make sure and get out there and vote. Regardless of what your political preference is, vote. You know, there's got to be a mass public showing this election season, no matter what your party is, so that there's a true picture of the sentiment across the country. Y'all know where I stand politically. But anyway, get out and vote, but stay safe doing it. Have fun, and we'll see you in about a week.